Harvard University is suing the Trump administration over its proposed ban on international student enrollment at the school. We will now have to see how the White House battle with Harvard plays out in court. Let's get some perspective from both sides with my guests, Republican strategist Matt Klink and Democratic strategist and former D.C. Democratic Party Chair A. Scott Bolden. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for joining.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Matt, I'll start with you. Foreign students make up more than 27% of the Harvard student body. So what does Trump gain by going after Harvard and, again, international student body?
Well, there are a couple things that he gains. One is that it continues to energize his base in the sense that, anything that is ultimately elite and far left, which is the epitome of Harvard, is always a welcome target. Although I have to tell you, I think that this one goes a little bit too far for Donald Trump. I think that America prospers significantly from having, in many cases, some of the world's elite or the smartest of the world coming to America to get educated, and hopefully they gain something. I mean, look, Harvard has a lot of problems. It's an ideology factory for the far left. And I think that Donald Trump is certainly trying to at least get them to acknowledge that they royally screwed up in terms of discriminating against Jewish students for a very long time. But I think that this one goes a little bit too far.
I do want to talk about that, Scott. The Trump administration's argument here is Harvard's not doing enough to fight anti-Semitism. It's not changing its hiring practices. You're an attorney. How do you see this playing out? Scott.
Well, it's a violation of the First Amendment right. There's no depth and substance to connecting the recruitment of international students and those students who are protected by the First Amendment, by the way, who have every right of the constitutional protections once they are here in the U.S. This government administration, the Trump administration, disagrees with that. They think if you're not a U.S. citizen, the Constitution doesn't protect you or your right to free speech. Every international student is not a supporter of Hamas. And while Harvard may have some challenges in regarding fighting anti-Semitism in the past, then you hold their feet to fire. You do the task force, does their work. But blocking money and blocking visas for international students isn't the way to go. The federal courts have said, have blocked Trump's order, and that's why you have two simple lawsuits here. And I predict that the federal judges in this case are going to support Harvard's position on this because there's no depth and substance or connection to why the government's taking these actions against a very fine university, imperfect, but a great university.
Yeah, I wonder if it's too late because we're already seeing enrollment from foreign students drop at Harvard because of the politics that are playing out here. All right, let's talk about Trump taking on Apple this week. This is what he said in the Oval Office. I'll talk to both of you on the other side.
The iPhone, if they're going to sell it in America, I want it to be built in the United States. They're able to do that.
So Trump wants iPhones. He wants Samsung phones made here in the U.S. Experts say, we mentioned this, if this happens, a phone could cost $3,000. Matt, what is the strategy here? Most of us can't afford an iPhone now, not to mention $3,000 for a phone.
No, you're right. I just bought a new phone and I gulped myself at the price that I had to pay. I mean, look, this is again it's classic Donald Trump. You shouldn't take what Donald Trump says seriously, but in this case, not take him literally. It would not surprise me one bit if Donald Trump and Tim Cook appear on the same stage at some point within the next 30 days and talk about some deal that has been struck between the United States government and Apple to do something that will benefit the United States. Again, Trump is the salesman here. The fact that he's pushing for things to be made in the United States is not a bad thing. Apple has not been hurt one bit by this. Some shareholders might in the short term, but ultimately, Trump will get something from Apple. He will be able to declare victory and move on, which is what he's been doing all along.
I mean, we've certainly seen that play out before in the last few months. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, but Donald Trump doesn't have to do this in a public way. He can do this in a more private way without roiling the markets and this being a media news story. It simply borders on the nonsensical. The fact of the matter is tariffs aren't going to work. if you can't build those products here. Because if you slap a 25%, 50% tariff and you block goods, then the demand for those goods are going to have to be served here in the U.S. Tell me when, where, or how Apple's going to move its entire operation to make iPhones here in the U.S., let's say within 30 days, 60 days, even a year. It's just not doable. And then the price of those phones are going to go up and hurt the American consumer. My goodness gracious, this president said he was going to turn this economy around. At some point, he's going to have to stop blaming Biden, and that the consumer and the public are going to be blaming him, because this is his economy and it's his economic terrorism that's driving prices up, keeping prices up, and keeping this economy stagnant.
Matt, I want to give you the last word here.
Oh, Scott,
Don't give him the last word.
Oh, Scott, there you go again. Look, the economy, once Trump passes his reconciliation bill and Congress passes his reconciliation bill, the economy is going to be humming, and critics like Scott, who believe that Biden was doing a really great job, are going to be eating crow.
Oh, I love both of you together. Matt Kling, Scott Bolden, thank you again, and thanks for coming on this Memorial Day weekend.
I disagree.
Yeah.
That's my last word. I
Okay,
disagree.
we'll take that. Gentlemen, thank you again.